Hey everyone, this is Eric with Tint Wiz, and this is episode number 6 of the Tint Wizdom live stream. We do this every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and the idea is to share tips, tricks, and best practices that you can apply to your tint business to improve the efficiency, make things run better, make more money, and achieve the goals you have for your business. So today, before we jump into the topic, I wanted to point out 2 gems that I stumbled across in 2 of the Facebook window film groups. So if you're not a part of the groups, they're groups on Facebook. It's all tinters, and I definitely highly recommend you join all the groups. There is a group for everybody, but I feel like you can benefit from every group. So join them all, and my best advice is just ignore the posts that don't meet your taste, but keep a lookout for great information, because every single one of the groups has posts with unbelievably insightful information. You can gain experience from people who have been doing this much longer than you have, and I think that's a great way to learn, is crowd sharing everybody's experience. So the first thing I wanted to point out is from Patrick, and this was posted in the window tinting business group, and Patrick is actually the founder of it. And this is a window film removal consent form. It's a waiver of liability. So if you're doing a removal on the back window of a car, this form is basically ready to go, so you can have them fill that out. And if you run into the chance where the defroster doesn't work, they've accepted liability, they've understood that beforehand, and you have this to get your back. So this is a super helpful form. It's ready to go. It's completely free. If you'd like to get to it, go to the window tinting business and group, and you'll find it a couple posts down. You can save it from there, print it out, and then once you have the customer filling it out, the next question is, what are you going to do with them? I don't recommend you put them in a box, so I'm going to show you what to do with them a little later in this video. So I want to get into the next thing that we found on here, and this was actually from Express Window Films. Mark posted it in the Window Tinters United group, another Facebook group, and this is actually a really cool printout that you can buy from Express Window Films. And what it is it's a form that you would actually leave with your customer, and it gives them an idea of what to expect during the day of the window film installation, what you need them to do, such as clearing off windowsills and giving you the appropriate access to the windows. And it's just like a professional touch when you can include this in your proposal, and this sort of thing reinforces to the customer that they're gonna understand every step of the way, and that you're there to educate them, you're professional, and you've thought of everything. So even if you include these in your proposal, I think it would actually be a strength. Now, if you don't use Express Window Films, what I'd recommend would be, you buy a pack from them and you write your own version of it, and you personalize it to not necessarily the film you use, but rather your company name, your brand, it's your information. Don't copy their information, but it can give you inspiration for what should be important and what you can include on your set. So, talking about waivers and forms, and going back to this one, for example, after you have a customer fill out a waiver or form like this, the next question is, what do you do with it? And, it's funny, if you go into a business, the more paperwork you see, you can basically guess the age of the business by the paperwork lying around usually. Because what do you do with stuff like this? So I'm going to show you and how easy it is to deal with stuff like this, but more importantly, warranties. How are you dealing with your warranties? How are you keeping track of that information? Because ultimately, if you don't have warranty information, you have nothing to look back if there is an issue, and that applies both flat glass and automotive. So let's jump into this and talk about what to do with your paperwork. And you're going to see how incredibly easy this is, and quick and efficient. So first thing we're going to do is add a contact, and the contact's name is going to be Kyle, and we're going to type in Kyle's phone number and Kyle's email address. I'm going to hit save contact. And we've just saved Kyle's information. So you can see it right here. I have Kyle's phone number, full name, and email. I'm going to add a project. It's automotive project. We're going to say Kyle drives a Buick. And it is going to be a LaCrosse. And it's a 2017. We're going to create that project. So right in here, we have Kyle's Buick. We have his information. We have his email address. We have his phone number. Okay. We know what type of car he has. Now, you have a notes area right here. You can type in anything you want about this, what he's interested, you quote him. These are the details. You can say, quoted, 200 for dyed or 350 for ceramic. And you can just save that note there so you know when you speak to Kyle again what you quoted him. And potentially what you installed. So what I want to show you here is the attachments area. This project attachments area is most commonly used for before and after pictures, but it is incredibly handy for warranty. Now the reason I'm saying that is because it is as simple as taking a picture of the side of the box that you're using for the tint installation and uploading that picture into the project attachments. And then you forever know what box, what run number, what lot number, everything you need to know about the film that went into this project. So if something comes up, you have the information you need to file a warranty claim. You also have before and after pictures and notes as to what film it is. But how much time does it take to take one picture of the side of a box and upload it in there? It's literally a second, and you've just recorded so much information that doesn't have to be written down on a piece of paper. So that's where I recommend your warranties go. Not only that, for flat glass, W-9s, contracts, where are you putting your W-9s? Because if you're keeping a filing cabinet, who's putting it in the filing cabinet? Who's gathering those pieces of paper? Whereas you can take a picture of the W-9, or usually when it's emailed over to you, you can just upload that PDF right into the Tint Wiz and not be printing them out. Because again, you think about efficiency. If you're paying somebody to do that or you're doing that, you're limited by time and so on. So, I just kind of want to point out that tip, and it's how you can keep yourself from bogged down with paperwork. These are things that you can work from anywhere. From anywhere you can take a W-9 or a contract or a picture you've taken, you can upload it into Tint Wiz versus having a stack of paper that you can only access when you're at the office. So use those attachments as much as possible because they're completely unlimited. And I question where are you storing before and after pictures of your projects? If they're just in your phone, then that means they're not organized, they're not sorted, and they're not able to be uploaded into Yelp, Facebook, and so on. So super important. Store your pictures there, store your forms there. You're going to see value in it. And the other value that you can see is this is an example of a project where I put some notes in here. I quoted the client, and then maybe we didn't sell it. Maybe they didn't want to come in. You're going to maybe have more time on your hands, being that we're entering the slow season. You can see this new leads area here on your dashboard with the number 7. That means there's 7 new leads in there. A new lead is basically a contact that doesn't have a project yet and hasn't been dismissed. So you can just click in that new lead area, and you're going to see some new leads that you can go ahead and see, Adam Jones, and go ahead and contact them back and go through these. And then, whenever a project is no longer a new lead, just go ahead and hit dismiss from leads. No longer a lead. Okay, so, something I wanted to touch on from last week's Tint Wizdom. Last week, a lot of it was, we're talking about hiring and a different way to look at hiring and putting a value on your time so that you can, value the different things you're doing in the day. You can see which ones, could be replicated for the lowest amount, which ones bring you in the most money. And then you can focus on hiring someone to take off those easy tasks. And then so you can focus on those bigger, higher rewarding tasks. So, something else I'd like to discuss this week is the quote that I posted on Facebook just a couple days ago. And let me get it up. Okay, so the quote is, being busy is a form of laziness, lazy thinking and indiscriminate action. And the quote's by Tim Ferriss. Now, Being busy is often thought as a good thing because, if you're busy, it means you're doing well, it means you have customers, it means you're working and so on. So that is true because if you're not busy, that means potentially you're not doing anything. Of course, being busy shows some sign of success. However, the way I want you to look at busy is as a ceiling. So it's a ceiling, it's a limitation for you. When you're busy, what it means is your time is being taken up by tasks to what you feel is kind of a stretch, a maximum potential. You're at the point, everybody has a different definition of busy. It's what busy is to them. But whatever that is, it means that you're stretching. You feel busy with little extra time. So what that means is that's a constraint. That's a ceiling for you. So, while being busy is better than doing nothing, it's not something that necessarily should be rewarded. So the way I'd like you to, let's put it in these perspectives. If I told you I was super, super, super busy, I was working 20 hours a day, barely sleeping, and just working 20 hours a day, you may at first glance applaud that. But if I told you my job was cutting the grass on the front lawn and I was using scissors, would you still applaud that? Would you still think, highly of me for being busy? Or would you think that I should go get a lawnmower and do things a better way? That's an extreme example, but it's what I mean by busy being a limitation. You have to evaluate the things that are taking up all your time and say, how can we make these more efficient so that you can do more in a given amount of time, so that your employees can do more in a given amount of time. And, that's what efficiency is about. So, that's the quote from this week. Being busy is a form of laziness, lazy thinking, and indiscriminate action. So, again, what that means is just, analyze what you're doing. Look at busy as both a success, but also as a ceiling. Look at it as a problem that has yet to be solved. Because when you see busy as a problem that is yet to be solved, you're going to start to see those, be able to identify those bottlenecks in your business, and, alleviate them. And that's growth. And, every time you do something like that, you take a step forward, towards growth in your business and kind of like a more pleasant process in your business. As we approach the winter time, there's a lot of posts about, people are experiencing slowdown already and it's just September and so on. And, I kind of want to point something out where, what happens in the summer is it's so busy that you're turning away customers because you're so booked out and you're booked out weeks and customers want their tint today and so on. So you just feel like you're on top of the world because you're busting at the seams. And then come the winter, you're saying, I don't have enough customers and I do need customers to support me through this winter. Okay. What that makes me think of is basically in the, summer, it's raining money and the money's knocking you over. And then in the winter, you're looking for that money. So you're not the point being is the more efficient way to do it is in the winter when you have more time, try to put better processes in place and improve your business so that in the summer you can handle more business. So that way you're not swimming upstream. Instead, you're using the value of the slower time in the winter to improve your capacity for the busier time and your efficiency for the busier time in the summer. That's going to be more successful than just fighting winter head on every year. And using things like Tint Wiz to systematize your business to make it faster, is absolutely 1000% the right move. Oftentimes it's just going to be one of those things where, like social media, if you look back 5-10 years ago, think about the companies that were saying, hey, I'm killing it on social media, I'm killing it on Facebook, it's growing my business. And then you had other companies who said, hey, my business is doing great without social media, I don't need it because I'm super busy. And then a decade later, who isn't on social media as a business? Because the businesses who didn't get on social media are needing to get on there, and the businesses who were the first movers had the first mover advantage and were able to capitalize on that. And that's what we're seeing with our users. The users that have jumped on early on since our launch last July, you're seeing growth. And as more and more businesses jump on and understand that technology can work for them, you're going to see an elevation in the industry as a whole. The things that companies are able to do because, they're growing bigger companies have more capacity to be able to put out better marketing and have better systems in place and better employees and so on. It elevates the industry as a whole, and I'm looking forward to, seeing how that evolves over the next few years. So moving on from there, let's jump into the Facebook comments. And hey, what's up, Chris Queen? Thank you for joining. You're in the comments every single week, and I definitely appreciate that. Betsy, the leads area is really helpful for follow-ups. It's a little gold mine. Follow up with clients who didn't sell after a few days. Definitely, if you're not doing follow-ups, you're missing out. Another point towards the upcoming winter, if you're getting 10 clients a day calling in, you want to capitalize on them. It's not about going from 10 to 20. It's about going from selling 4 out of 10 to selling 6 out of 10 or selling 8 out of 10, because it's always going to be better for you to be more efficient than for you to just be bigger. You think if there's a leak in your race car, you want to fix that leak before you go faster. You don't want to just always go faster, because as you go faster, that leak can become more and more detrimental and cause a bigger problem. So, always want to, focus on efficiency, and that means following up on your leads. What's up, Robbie? Thank you for joining the live stream. So I really appreciate everybody who watches this live. If you happen to miss it live, you can watch it both on our Facebook page as well as our YouTube page. The benefit of listening to it on our YouTube page is you can close the YouTube app and just listen to the audio without distracting you from the page. Patrick from the Window Tinting Business Facebook group and YouTube page is actually who pointed that out, and that's a more convenient way for listening to it if you're not going to watch the video. And we're going to be releasing the audio versions on iTunes as well, so look out for that in the next couple weeks. If you happen to miss it live, that's the way you can watch it. But I do want to say that the next Tint Wizdom number 7, which would be next Tuesday, same time, same place, is going to be one you're going to want to catch live. The reason being, this one's going to be about video. We're going to be talking about Facebook video, YouTube video, the best strategies for making video, how to do video on a tight budget, which means nothing. And then I'm going to be talking about this thing and how helpful this thing is, how inexpensive this is. And if you're watching this live, you have a very good chance of getting one of these completely for free. So definitely make sure you try to catch the next one live. Again, it's going to be on our Facebook page, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And that's about it for today. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you next week, next Tuesday on 7 p.m. on our Facebook page. See you then.